Hey, yo, what's going on, guys? This is Mike Reed here. Welcome back to another toy review by yours truly. And today we have quite the hype-worthy review. Or at least for me, it was pretty hype-worthy. And probably one of the more highly anticipated reviews to do for you guys for the channel. So, today we will be taking a look at the Takara Beyblade X CX-07 PegasusBlast. Yes, so finally we get to take a look at this guy. As I know for some of you who follow me on Discord, which by the way links are everywhere, you will know that I have been waiting very patiently for this guy to show up for a review. Dare I say a little too patiently for this gorgeous, gorgeous bay here to show up. And oh, do I have some things I want to say about this bay for sure. So let's just waste no more time and let's just jump right in, because I think most of you waited pretty dang long enough for this review. So, taking a look at the box for this guy, of course we get the standard Beyblade X logo up there, as per usual. And of course right here we get this beautiful CG render of PegasusBlast. I mean, absolutely stunning design, even if not a lot of people are crazy about the colors. But personally, I think they look great on him, especially since they did make a metal coat red version of this guy, which in and of itself is pretty interesting, and we'll talk more about that here in a bit. Of course, we do have the CX-07 PegasusBlast text down there, and ATR, so curious to what that's going to be right there. And then, of course, we have the Extreme Gear Sports, and we do have this little text here, which I believe is hinting at that this is a metal coat finish release. So in this case, I believe it's metal coat blue, of course. Of course, on the side here, we do get a very nice look at the part-by-part of the actual blade for PegasusBlast. And, of course, down here, we get a better look at the top-down view of PegasusBlast right there. And, yes, it does come with a winder launcher. Very much in the style of Scorpio Spear's winder launcher, for those who remember that review from not too long ago. But with that said, that's pretty much it for the front of the box. Oh, and I can't forget to mention CX logo at the bottom there. So that is pretty darn awesome. And of course my turntable's being weird on me today. Oh, there we go. Of course on the side here we do get the attack type logo. Of course, on the back of the box, we get, oh boy, lots of text. And of course, my lighting is not going to pick this up well, is it? Let me see if I can turn on another light. Let's see. Actually, let me turn this light off. Let's see if that works. Oh yeah, see, that kind of works. So, taking a look at the back of the box, we do have the CX-07. There we go. CX-07, PegasusBlast, ATR. Of course, right here, we do get a look at the CX gimmick with this one, which is, of course, this little mode change feature. Talk more about that in a bit. Of course, down here, we do get the owner of this bay in the show, Omega Shiraboshi, which, fun fact, she is the mother of Tenka Shiraboshi, the owner of Samurai Saber. The more you know. Anyway, of course, down here, we get a better look at the bay itself. Of course, right here we do get a look at the part-by-part, which is rather curious. We're only seeing like two parts here. Interesting. Of course, we get another look at sort of the gimmick here, and we get the launcher. What is it? The winder ripcord comparison. Little bit right there. And then, of course, we do get this extra little CX piece with this release as well. Of course, over here we get a better look at the actual CX blade components. And then, of course, up here we get the little Beyblade X sub-caption right there. And then we get a whole bunch of legal jargon. Of course, on this side, and zoom out the camera, of course, you do get the Takara mobile app right there as well, with a nice little QR code to take you straight to the app, for Japan only, of course. And with all of that, let's go ahead and, well, get the lighting fixed, first and foremost. And finally, crack this guy open. And let's see how awesome PegasusBlast actually is. Alright guys, so with the bay fully unboxed, and of course a little bit of a change in camera perspective here, let's go ahead and take a look at the part-by-part of this release. As I said, this release is probably one of, if not the most interesting CX release we've gotten so far. Just really, really interesting. Let's start off, of course, with our lock chip. And of course, this is Pegasus right here. And Pegasus is awesome. So, first of all, I love this design because, in case I haven't mentioned this already, which I don't think I have, this bay is actually an evolution of another bay. In this case being Aero Pegasus. Now, Aero Pegasus was famous because it was one of, if not the best attack type bays you could buy. Well, third party, that is. Because it was a rare bay get battle exclusive. Basically, it was a lottery prize in Japan. For everybody else who's not in the know. But it was kind of a surprise that this one would get an evolution, since typically they don't really do that with rare Baguette stuff. Sure, that was kind of a thing last gen, but this gen they've been kind of more restrictive, or not really much restrictive, but they've shown restraint of doing evolutions to rare Baguette bays. But in this case, they did, and oh boy is it awesome. So, taking a look at the actual Pegasus lock chip, you can see we get it in this very nice sort of, I'm going to call this Monster Energy green, kind of interesting, with this nice white and the blue with the little eye poking through and the little feather design going around. Yeah, it's awesome. And of course, if in case I needed to say this bay is of course a callback to the Pegasus line from MFB, or Metal Fight Beyblade. And what an awesome evolution of a pretty iconic design from Beyblade's past. We'll talk more about the Pegasus comparisons here in a bit. But, oh my goodness, this thing is gorgeous. So pretty. Of course, get the Beyblade X logo on the side there, and we do get the little arrow indicating that, yes, this is a right spin lock chip. Of course, on the back, we do get the exact same locking mechanism as every other lock chip we've gotten thus far. So, pretty darn awesome. Love this design a lot. Really, really good stuff. Then next up we get our main blade, which is Blast. Now Blast, I gotta say, pretty awesome design. So first and foremost, the little green parts here are indeed printed onto the plastic, because this is plastic on the top here, for the wings, or the sort of feather wing design. But of course, the rest of the blade is fully metal, die-cast metal here, as you would expect. And it does have this beautiful metal coat finish on it, which, RIP metal coat. But the blue looks absolutely stunning. Really, really pretty on this one. And of course, this is a 3-bladed design, so this is primarily designed for attack as well. And hopefully, just like the Pegasus of the past, this is going to hit like a truck. I'm hoping. Of course, on the back itself, of course on the back of the blade itself here, we do get some very nice tri-wing screws there. And some more of that beautiful blue back here. Really, really nice to see. Love this design so much. Really, really good. And then last but not least, we get our assist blade, which is called Assault. Or Assault. And Assault is an interesting shape, I will say. Definitely reminiscent of a certain Valkyrie, eh? But anyhow, this is of course a 3-bladed design to match with our lovely Blast main blade. But it is a pretty nice design. Do like it in this nice Monster Energy green. And of course on the bottom it is pretty hollowed out, so that's a little concerning. And funnily enough, we do have the little spot for the QR code for a potential Hasbro release, which, by the way, Hasbro, please give this international release if you could. But really, really nice design for that. And now to quickly assemble our blade, of course we will line up the 3 notches with the bottom of our assist blade, like that. And then we take our lock chip, plop it into place, making sure that it's lined up properly. I believe it goes like that. And then, of course, you can take your tool, because you do get this tool here, which, by the way, let's take a quick moment to take a look at the tool that's included. Now, there's a very good reason why this bay has such a tool like this. And you'll see that more when we actually get to the full right bay here. Of course, it does have the CX logo on the bottom, and you do get these 3 little prongs here, which line up with the 3 prongs on the lock chip. And once you line both of those up, just like so, and of course you can do this on any blade, it will twist and lock it into place. And just like that, And there you have PegasusBlast fully assembled. And as I said before, absolutely stunning design. Really, really good blade. And very nice aggressive shape, even if there is some very strange hollowing going on here. But hopefully that is just to allow it to have better aerodynamics, and it's not going to actually hinder the design at all. But of course, we'll have to see that when we get to the battle testing here in a bit. And speaking of the bits, next up, let's take a look at the bit, which is probably one of the most unique bits we've gotten so far. This is called Turbo, and Turbo is interesting. Because, again, let's bring in our lovely, lovely Pegasus. This bit is a direct callback to Pegasus's FD, or Final Drive. Really cool callback to that. And for those who remember how Final Drive works, I think you know where this is going. Pretty exciting. So, on the bottom here, we do have this nice star-shaped tip right there. Very aggressive, very flat. And how it works is that there's little counterweights on the inside of the bit. You see these little prongs here and here. When you launch the bay, those prongs are going to come out, and then a little cone-shaped tip will appear from the center here. And that's going to basically put it into a stamina or defense mode. Now, as the bay slows down, these little launcher prongs here retract in like this, allowing it to then become this flat, aggressive shape, allowing it to achieve crazy speeds and have unga-bunga attack power, if that makes sense. So it's going to be crazy powerful when it hits, hopefully. And considering how fast battles go in X, or in this gen, I expect this thing to be absolutely busted, just like FD was for Big Bang or Cosmic Pegasus here. So all in all, fantastic design. And of course, you do have a very unique locking mechanism for this. It locks in very similar to like 455 or 355, very similar to that, where again, you just push it in and then you twist the bottom of the bit right there to lock it into place. And then to unlock it, just simply twist it the opposite way and it unlocks. Very, very simple to install. And once you assemble the bay right there, there you have PegasusBlast Turbo. Now, I realize this is very, very chunky. Now, before I continue, I will say, one of the big issues with CX, and I know I'm not the only one, is that these bays are too friggin' tall. Alright, they just are. But there's a good reason for that, I want to say. And it's because, well, first and foremost, with all the weight being placed at the top, understandably, you don't want them to be too low to the ground, because they would be because then they could throw off the balance of the game. And considering X's emphasis on balancing the competitive scene and just balancing the bays competitively, I guess it's a fair trade-off. Sure, you get crazy designs like this, but they are going to be kind of tall, so you do have to hard launch them, and you do have to be strategic to get the most of these bays performance-wise. Now, of course, with this as well, with this bit, you can use it on literally any other bay, just like any other part in Beyblade X. You could just use it with anything else. But do keep in mind that it is very big and it is very chunky, so you have to be aware of that. And yeah, it is just really, really chunky. So, with that, I think that pretty much does it for our overview on PegasusBlast. So let's go ahead and do a quick jump cut here, and let's go ahead and see what PegasusBlast can do in battle. So see you guys in just a bit. Oh, but before I forget, of course, we do need to quickly take a look at the launcher. Just a quick look. So just like with Scorpio Spear last review, it's the exact same thing. But the color scheme is a callback to the Metal Fight Generations winder launchers that they had for that generation. The ripcord launchers that they had. I think they were called light launchers at the time. But yeah, it's a callback to that, color scheme wise. Alright, with that over, now let's get to the battles. Alright guys, and we are back. And of course you do have our lovely stadium right here. And of course off screen I do have all of my bays, which is, jeez, what a collection I got now. All off screen over to the left over here. Now, before you guys get too excited, yes, we are back in the original room that I typically go to record this segment. But with that said, don't get your hopes up too much because the room is still very much in disarray, but things are starting to get a little bit better in here, so I can somewhat record like I would normally. So we're going to have to you're just going to have to roll with me for a bit. But like I said, once we get the room all right, renovated and everything, then we will be completely good to go and we'll be back to the old recording setup that we usually do. So just bear with me. Bear with me. But, of course, continuing on, we do have our lovely new PegasusBlast right here. So let's go ahead and grab my nice little launcher right there. And let's see what PegasusBlast can do in the stadium all on his own. So here we go. And of course, starting off, I didn't exactly get the best launch out of him, so of course he is going to be in the attack mode at the start. So let's go ahead and try a bit more of a firmer launch. See if I can get him to go into the other mode a little bit better. There you go. See, you have to hard launch it, and once you do that, then he's going to go into the defense mode. And then very quickly, it goes into the attack mode. Yeah! So you get a few seconds of the stamina mode, and then it's just all attack until he fizzles out. Pretty darn fantastic right there. So let's go ahead and quickly grab some bays over here. And let's see if they can stand up to the mighty Pegasus. So I think we will probably start off with, you know what, let's start strong here with Wizard Rod. Let's see what he can do against the mighty PegasusBlast. Come on, PegasusBlast. Woo! Big hit. Ooh, hit again. Oh, gosh dang it. Well, PegasusBlast got cooked. Jeez. Alright. Let's go again. Oh, that was quick. Alright. One more time. Come on, PegasusBlast. Woo! Woo! Oh, come on. Jeez. Really weak hits from Pegasus. Kind of a shame. Then again, it is Wizard Rod, so should we really be all that surprised? Anyway, moving on. Let's switch gears to something a little more defensive. I think in this case, let's grab Night Mail. See what he can do against PegasusBlast. Ooh, good hits against PegasusBlast there. Okay. Come on, Pegasus, you can do it! Gosh dang it. Alright. Well, that was a kind of unfortunate tie. Let's go again. Woo! Good hit from PegasusBlast right there. Really, really clutch. Oh, and also, RIP the paint. Oh, the paint's going. Oh, boy. Alright. One more try. Come on. That just sucks and you know it. Gosh dang it. Darn you, PegasusBlast. Darn you. Alright. Let's do one more here. You know what? Just for a quick giggle. Scorpio Spear. See what he can do against the mighty PegasusBlast. Of course, with this guy, I do have to remember to keep him in the other mode, so that way he'll work. I am never going to get used to that with this guy. Plus, the mode's not staying the way it's supposed to. Oh, Tomy's broken already. Oh, jeez. There we go. Okay, here we go. That went horribly. Didn't even get one hit in. Alright. Alright. Let's go again. That should get this stupid winder to work. Come on, Scorpio Spirit. Woo! Okay. Pegasus. Pegasus. What are you doing? You're based on Jenga's Bay. Do better. What are you doing? Alright. Anyway. One more try. Woo! Alright. And a very explosive finish there by PegasusBlast. Really, really good stuff. And then there's all kinds of schmuck in the stadium. That's always fun. Alright. So I think on that explosive note, that's pretty much going to end it for this review on PegasusBlast. So all in all, for a CX release, I think he is quite an interesting bay. First and foremost, if you don't already have, right, a CX bay in your collection, this is definitely the one to get, I would say, just for how unique it is in general. Of course, for the actual parts itself, the lock chip, I mean, hey, the design, pretty solid, awesome callback to a classic Beyblade character for most of us, so that on its own is pretty awesome. Even if not everybody's crazy about his color scheme. Of course, the actual blast blade, I think, definitely leaves a lot to be desired. It does have a good shape, but seems to not exactly hit quite right due to just how freaking tall the thing is. So that's kind of sad. Also, the assault blade, definitely, the shape could be better. Maybe for some combos it can be good, but as it stands, yeah, as I feared, the gap kind of makes it not that great. And then for the turbo bit, one of the most unique bits you can get, and of course you can only get it with this release so far, and I think it's probably one of the most unique bits by far. The mode change, the gimmick, everything about it, just really, really unique, and definitely a standout bay from literally everything else that X has to offer right now. So with all that, if you guys did enjoy this review, then please make sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and ring that notification bell so that way you guys get notified for all my uploads. Later, Eat Squad, and have a good one.